It came out of that financial crisis and just small beginnings, trying to do something to the community. And here we are, 4 years down the road.
Clarify on that. HOPE doesn't actually stand for anything. It's not an acronym for anything, is
No,
it?
it is not.
It's just the word in
It's
itself.
just hope, because I think if all of us have hope, and if this nation has hope, then we can go places. What's the difference between that child and my child? The difference is that my child has the love, validation, acceptance of family. They also have a platform to aspire to something. These children have no opportunity like that. We have 4 HOPE centers that we provide tuition to, free tuition, and their grades have improved. Some of them are now really doing well. Also, our HOPE centers are also a safe space. You put faces to the vision, to the dream, to the hope. When you put faces there, those are things that actually I take back home and I sleep. I sleep at peace at night. Always been Sri Lankan to the core. Visited 68 countries, but feel deeply called to this country. Actually, it's after the tsunami. Most of the negative decisions that adults make, children are the ones who face the consequences. These children, they can go on to do great things. The doctors, the medical professionals, the artists, the creative designers, IT analysts, all these people, even our political leaders can come from these. They are going to come from this community.
Yeah.
So investing in children means investing in your future. Mother Teresa has been a deep inspiration to me as from a child growing up. She once said, if you want to change the world, go and love the one in front of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you all to a very, very special program where we are talking now to an individual of very high esteem who, along with his cohorts, have gone quite a long way in changing and impacting the lives of many young children and many youth here in Sri Lanka over the past 3-4 years with his wonderful humanitarian efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm referring to none other than Reverend Dr. Lohan Bibile, who's the lead pastor of the Calvary Centre. Reverend Dr.
Kevin, you may call me Lohan. I like my name.
All right, we'll stick to Lohan for the purpose of this interview then. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure you are a very busy individual, changing the lives, as I mentioned, of so many young folk.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Right. Well, we are here to talk about HOPE Sri Lanka, which I believe is the most appropriate name that you have come up with, you along with everybody else that's put this together. I believe it's the most appropriate name that you have because you actually have given a glimmer of hope, a second chance, if you will, at a successful life to a lot of young individuals. So let's start with that. Let's start with HOPE. What is HOPE exactly? What does the name stand for, if it stands for anything? And why did you choose that name, HOPE, for your organization?
Well, HOPE was birthed during the financial crisis of our country. As we were standing in queues, waiting in petrol lines and food lines, some of us just came together with this question: what do we do for our community? We're always waiting for the government to act, but then as a society, what do we do? It's not about our ethnicities or religious backgrounds or walks of life. We are first and foremost Sri Lankans, and this is a beautiful nation. What do we do? And as we looked around us and we saw the plight of people, the despair, the thing that came to our minds was this whole sense of hopelessness, And hope was a natural response to the hopelessness of the people at that time. And, we often quote this particular line where it says, a person can be without food for 40 days, without water for 3 to 7 days, without air or oxygen for a maximum of 5 minutes, but without you can't live a second without hope. So that's how hope was born. It came out of that financial crisis and just small beginnings, trying to do something to the community. And here we are, 4 years down the road. And it's amazing to see what has happened over the next.
Essentially, it was born out of giving hope to the hopeless.
Absolutely.
Right. So just to clarify on that, HOPE doesn't actually stand for anything. It's not an acronym for anything, is it?
No, it is not.
It's just the word in itself.
It's just hope, because I think if all of us have hope, and if this nation has hope, then we can go places.
It's the power of hope.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I want to ask you, Lohan, let's talk about the meat and bones now, the nitty-gritties of HOPE. I'm sure you started out with, small initiatives, which has now grown into much larger things. If you had to, put it into a nutshell, what are the main initiatives and programs, if you will, that are carried out by Hope?
So our main focus are the children of our country, because we have identified there are children that come from very marginalized and vulnerable groups. They are because they are in the poverty line. Their parents are in substance abuse and addiction. Some children have only one parent. One is in prison serving a drug sentence or something like that, or a parent has abandoned them. And so therefore they are in volatile, vulnerable, marginalized communities. The thing is this: what's the difference between that child and my child? The difference is that my child has the love, validation, acceptance of family. They also have a platform to aspire to something. These children have no opportunity like that. And my belief is that every child has a right to smile. Every child has a right to be loved. Every child has a right to dream. Every child has a right to education. And most importantly, every child has a right to hope. So we focus on them, but while the child is the most important person in this whole initiative, you cannot lift up a child's life without also looking at the parental and the family dynamics. So we try to also help the single mother, because women also are another vulnerable group, and especially their mothers, because of the poverty line and all what's happening in society. They are easy to be preyed on. They are vulnerable. They're looking for love. They're looking for acceptance. So we try to also validate them. We try to help them, listen to their problems, try to help them, with dry rations, counseling, just give them validation and show them that they're actually a part of our society. So these are the two main efforts. So we look at children, school-going children. We also provide tuition, free tuition in our HOPE centers. We have 4 HOPE centers that we provide tuition to, free tuition, and their grades have improved. Some of them are now really doing well. Also, our HOPE centers are also a safe space for them, that they can come and play, just be children, build meaningful relationships, experience some love and care. We try and give them every Saturday a midday meal, a good nutritional meal. We also have about 80 kids clubs. These are small networks of where the children come together, maybe groups of about 10 or 15, and we teach them value-based learning, how to build a life, based on truth, being good to your, respectful to your elders, to your parents. Just basically, you don't need to rob something. You can just earn for something. Basically, just giving them life skills, value-based learning, so that they can be better than what the raw hand that they've been dealt with in life. So these are kind of the main things that we focus on. We also have other initiatives. We do medical clinics. We do blood donation programs for the thalassemia pediatric ward. We did a massive Christmas program. We brought about 3,000 people, and the children who are in our kids clubs, in our HOPE centers, we gave them big school bags with all the education resources they will need for an entire year. During the flood relief recently, we housed all the elderly who were affected in these flood relief areas. We gave dry ration packs. We went and cleaned homes. There's so much. I mean, HOPE is like all over, but if you would want me to really, the nitty-gritty is the child, and maybe immediately next is the community that supports that child. So that child can just have the same platform that our children have, basic things.
Well, it seems like without your intervention, a lot of these kids may have fallen on the wayside.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, it's about creating something for them to remember, creating a memory for them as well, along the process of, leading them down the right path. Yes. But I'm sure you have your own memories of the past 3-4 years, which I'm sure will be unforgettable, just like it's unforgettable for those you have assisted. Can you tell us some of those memories, what the biggest programs that you did, or what sort of key projects, a little overview of that?
Yes. Well, we started with a medical clinic for the entire community. We told everyone to come over. We spoke to medical professionals. They came and volunteered. We spoke to pharmaceutical companies that came and gave medicine at discounted prices. And we just hosted the whole thing. I mean, there are people coming from all over the place. My first memory was this old lady who was buying medicine, and I noticed that she was buying Atova or something like that. It was a cholesterol this thing, and I went and spoke to her and I said, "I'm so happy that you came." And she said, I could not afford to buy this because the financial crisis. My primary concern was how I can put one decent meal on the table. And she held my hand, and she don't know that I was a pastor. She don't know who I was. She said, Puta, thank you for giving me this, because I was very concerned about my blood pressure and about my cholesterol. But today I checked it. It was high. They're giving me medicine. They're giving it to me for 1 month, and I can go back and I can sleep in peace. Thank you. So that was one. The second one was a child in a Hope Center. Comes from a really, really messy background. Father is in jail. Mother has to fend 3 more children in the home. And this child, when I see the child in the Hope Center, the smile, beaming face, because they're playing, and for a moment they have forgotten all the drama that's happening at home. And I was just thinking, such a beautiful child, such a possible future. The platform. Sometimes, when you're doing this in those kind of societies, those communities, sometimes the need overwhelms you that you yourself can forget the hope that you're bringing. Sorry. But when you see these children, and there's one child who does all these creative things, amazing stuff. And I said, who did this? And this child, 14 years old, said, this is all my work. And I'm thinking, if we did not go, this child would not be able to showcase all this. And who knows, this child could be the next amazing designer in our country. I'm hoping that out of our Hope Centers, maybe the best and most powerful leaders of our next generation will come out from there. Yeah. So when I go there and I see the faces, you put faces to the vision, to the dream, to the hope. When you put faces there, those are things that actually I take back home, and I sleep at peace at night.
I guess the memories are all the smiles and all the positivity that you bring. You can't pinpoint the memories to one particular day or one particular program activity that you did. It's all the goodwill that you generate along with this great work. That's wonderful. Very emotional stories. A couple of stories as well. Thank you for that. But seeing as that it is the start of a new year, a lot of people like to talk about New Year's resolutions and all of that. Let's not go that far, but could you tell me what plans? Now, Hope has really come a long way, come in leaps and bounds over the past 3-4 years. What do you see Hope achieving as goals that you've set for yourself over the course of the next 12 months?
Absolutely. I would love to share that with you. So we currently have about 80 kids clubs that reach out to almost 2,000 children. We have 4 Hope Centers in the Gampa district. We have in Pubudugaba, in Rajapaksapura, in Kerawalapitia, and in Kotugoda. There we are, by memory. And we reach out to these children. We also work with their parents. We work in communities. We do, as I said, blood donation programs, dry ration, all that kind of stuff. This year, what we want to do is we want to build 3 new Hope Centers. One in the north, in Mullaitivu, because I was there those days after the war. I worked there. We want to build a Hope Center there for children there. We want to build another Hope Center in a place called Nochiagama. That's on the way to between Putlam and Anuradhapura. And then we want to build another one for tea estate kids in Wanduraba in the south, just outside of Galle. That's one of our big initiatives. We also want to be able
just to pick up on that, Lohan. So those 3 additional Hope Centers would bring how many Hope Centers in total would that?
There'll be a total of 7 Hope Centers by the end of this year.
With the addition of those 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
And the children, we are talking about massive numbers there, because we are talking about villages connecting with those Hope Centers. We would love to give them the Saturday afternoon meal that we would like to do to all the Hope Centers. It's a massive project, a massive effort, lots of fun resources needed. We would also like to source more teachers to teach voluntarily, free of charge in these Hope Centers. We currently have about 28 teachers who are just purely volunteering to teach these children. If we have more teachers, we'll be able to give more education to these children. already they're doing well, their grades are going up, they're doing well in school, they're being better children, more behaved, more holistic. We also want to help the parents, especially the single moms, the struggling parents. We want to be able to give them, more validation, more self-esteem, help them with some microfinance, give them small jobs so that they can just, you can give fish or you can provide a rod, teach them how to fish, and that's what we'd like to do. We also want to do a blood donation campaign for the pediatric cancer unit or the thalassemia pediatric unit. We want to do that in association with the Lions and with police in that area. These are some of the main things that we want to do. It's a massive effort. It's not easy, but look, if we don't start somewhere, we will never get anywhere.
Well said, Lohan. I have to say, you have high aspirations for the year 2026, as you should, given how the massive spurt of growth Hope has gone through. I want to know, other than a donation that anyone who's watching this could make, what are the other ways that people can get involved? I know we were talking earlier before this. You were talking about how there's a massive volunteer force.
Absolutely.
So are those some of the ways? Can you pinpoint some of the ways other than donations, which are obviously still very important? What are other ways that people get involved with the good work that Hope carries out?
One of the things is that we want our donors, yes, as you said, Kevin, finances are a really big issue, and we'll take every donation that we can get, guaranteeing that every cent goes to the child or to the family. But also we want our donors to be a part of the vision, right? This is not mine. This is not someone else's. This is just all of us coming together to do something, rather than just always looking up and saying, okay, what's our government going to do? What's our leaders going to do? All of us getting involved. So come and be a part of the vision. Come and see. Come and experience. Come and see. Then you will also be able to say, you know what? I can do this. For example, I can teach spoken English. We don't offer spoken English in all our centers, but maybe in one or two, I can do spoken English. I can volunteer one day of the week. Right? One of the biggest challenges will be these outstation Hope centers. The north is like 7 hours away, 6 hours away, far out place. We will need volunteers for those centers as well. You can come and volunteer of your time, of your skill, and just come and see. Once you come and see the need, then you will realize what you can offer. This is not an organization doing our thing and just wanting your money. No, we want you to be a part of this so that we can build a better Sri Lanka. So volunteer is a very, very important way. Another thing is create awareness. Talk to your friends. Most of our volunteers have come through pure personal relationships because my friends trust me. They know my heart. They will help me. Their friends trust them, and they trust me. So a lot of it is built on trust. Because if I'm being very honest, a lot of community things can be taken, can be misused, and we are talking about people who are marginalized and vulnerable. And if what we do don't go to them and elevate them, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
So create awareness. Come and see. Come and believe. Come and be a part of the vision. Go and tell your friends. Create awareness. The more human resources we have, the more resources we have, the more greater stuff we can do in this country.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, isn't it?
Absolutely. Come and test it.
That's magnificent. I do want to... Didn't see that one coming, did we?
You're telling me.
Well, I'm pretty sure now a lot of people may have been moved just by watching this to get involved, like you said as well, with donations or volunteer work or maybe as a teacher, whatever it may be. Let's talk about the channels that are open for the general public to get in touch with Hope. What are the easiest ways to get in touch with you?
So you will have all of the details down here on the video, but we are big on Facebook and we're big on Instagram. Regular updates, almost weekly sometimes. Recently in the flood crisis, the cyclone, a lot of our assistants the donors, and all came from our social media. They saw, they believed, they gave. And then we also responded. We always remain in touch with
Yeah.
our donors and the people who help us. So you can connect with us, Hope Sri Lanka, on Facebook, on Instagram, and then the other details are down here on the video.
Yeah, I think you're also on LinkedIn and things like that.
Absolutely.
As
We're
well.
all over the place.
All over the place. You have your website as well.
Yes, we do.
It's a .org.
It's a .org website. It's an
Yes,
organization.
Very important. We make that distinction. Right. So now we all know about the great response that you have shown to these kids, which is not something they would have ever dreamt of even. But in turn, what has the response been towards Hope? What has been the reaction to a place like Hope from the general public? Or how have they responded or reacted to?
Downright amazing. That's all I can say. One of the things is a lot of people are asking, why do we do the things that we do? I mean, as I said, when you look at Hope, we might have maybe 2 people on staff. Everyone else is all volunteers. They go back to their families. They go back to their workplaces. They give off their time. They sacrifice of their time. Blood, sweat, and tears, as we call it. It's been absolutely amazing. Actually, if I may use an old English word, stoked by how people have responded, and also this recent.
I just wanted to bring up the award
Pinnacle
as well.
Award.
The best CSR Children's Social Impact.
Not in
I
our-
mean, right there is where you need to. It's a measuring stick of the impact that you've made.
Not in our wildest dreams did we ever believe. We did not begin this looking for an award. We did not begin this looking for public recognition or elevating our names or anything like that. But when we got this award, and I sat down there, it starts at about 4 o'clock in the evening. It goes on till about 10:30 in the night. All sorts of awards, hundreds of awards. I was thinking to myself, what have we done? I mean, seriously. But sometimes we might feel that way about us, thinking when you look at the need and the amount that we can actually help, it's like almost like a needle in a haystack, a drop in the ocean. But people out there have seen, people out there have recognized. And to us, the award is just a validation that we are on the right path. And as long as we remain humble, true to our vision, and authentic to our cause, I think greater things are yet to come.
We talked about, you say greater things are yet to come. We talked about your aspirations for the year 2026. But I just want to ask you, both on a personal level, as well as from the organization as well, since you started in 2022, I'm sure there are a lot of things that you have found more clarity in, particularly with some of your ideologies or whatever we have thought about women and children, particularly in the past. What have been your biggest realizations to deal with women and children over the journey of these past 3 to 4 years?
Well, to be honest, Kevin, I come from a flying background, a flying career with Sri Lankan Airlines. And then I became a pastor, as you say. But actually, in terms of, I've always been a humanitarian, always been Sri Lankan to the core. Visited 68 countries, but feel deeply called to this country. Actually, it's after the tsunami. The tsunami is the one that actually first got me thinking about how I can engage. And I moved my entire family to Gaul and went and served there amongst the rehabilitation camps, helped build houses, and lift up children. And that's where my first connection with children there. And then the second was after the war, the north and the east, especially in Pudukurupu and in the Vanni, working with the army, working with the government. So many orphans, so many single-parent children, some children who have no parents at all. That's where my heart really broke because I would see my children, young as ever, playing with those children. Did not know the same language. They come from Tamil speaking. My children are Sinhalese, but children, when they get together, it's like... So that's where this whole Hope Center thing birthed there. And I mobilized young people from Colombo, to give their weekends to go and teach there because no one would want to go and teach there. They were still clearing landmines and all that stuff. We worked in villages, set up drinking water projects, taught in schools. I mean, we're talking about thousands of kids, So that's where my heart actually really, really changed. So when this financial crisis came, I mean, it was just almost like a compelling, compelling that we had to do something. I want to say something about women and children. The government has done a lot, successive governments have done a lot to raise awareness, to try and protect, because I believe that children and women are the most vulnerable in our communities. They can easily be preyed on. We talk so much about children being the future of our country. And yet, most of the negative decisions that adults make, children are the ones who face the consequences. And as a collective adult community of our country, we're not doing enough. That's my first take. But at the same time, I want to say is that if we would give a child a fair chance, a lot of them will embrace it. I think the biggest issue is that all of our children, most of our children in our country, in those kind of communities, are like in hyper-vigilant mode, wondering where will the next negative thing happen to them. But if we can give them a space for them to breathe, grow, feel and experience love, validation, value, and then also give them basic things. Are we talking about big things? We're talking about basic things here. Education, basic education, a basic meal, a place to belong, to feel safe. These children, they can go on to do great things. The doctors, the medical professionals, the artists, the creative designers, IT analysts, all these people, even our political leaders can come from these. They are going to come from this community.
Yeah.
So investing in children means investing in your future, right? The second thing about women, my mom was a single mom. I come from a broken home myself. Women are in this country are very, very resilient. Actually, I have the highest of admiration for the women in our country. I mean, single moms with special needs kids, fighting for their children, fighting for their future. Women are so resilient in this country. It's amazing. And so they are deeply precious to me, deeply precious to HOPE. We have seen the need, we have seen the plight, but we have seen with a little bit of hope, just a touch of hope, a hand of hope, how these people fly. Yeah. All they need is a platform of hope. And you know what? They will far exceed our wildest dreams.
A little bit of hope. I like the play on words there. That's fantastic. I can tell you myself, this has been compelling, not only for me speaking to you and finding out the great work that you've carried out over the past almost half a decade now, it must be said. But it's also, I'm pretty sure, it's proving to be compelling viewing for whoever has watched you now for the past, whatever it may be, telling the story of hope as well. So if there's, and by the way, you talked about how you can get in touch,
Absolutely.
And obviously for that little bit of hope. Of course, hopesl.org is the website, in addition to all the social media links that you can obviously find out. One parting message to anyone that might be moved to get up off their couch after hearing what you had to say, what would that parting word be to anyone who now thinks, yes, I want to be a part of HOPE and give these kids a future?
Yeah. Come and speak to us. Come and see what we do. Come and see for yourself, so then you will believe. And then you can be a part of the program. I just want to say something to all of you as Sri Lankan citizens. We think about a better Sri Lanka. We think about changing the world. Mother Teresa has been a deep inspiration to me as from a child growing up. She once said, if you want to change the world, go and love the one in front of you. So hope is just you can give hope to anyone around you. The person on the street, the neighbor on your side. Just step out of your door. You might think, I don't have what it takes. I don't have the resources. You have yourself, and that is the greatest resource that Sri Lanka needs.
Fantastic. So from a glimmer or a little shindling of hope, you can actually have a lot of hope by getting in touch with yourself and your co-host.
Please come and talk to us.
Yeah.
Please come and see what we do. Then you will believe. And you can be a part of it. The more, the merrier. The more resources. The more, a better Sri Lanka.
Fantastic. This has been a fascinating discussion with you, Reverend Dr. Lohan Bibile. Of course, you were kind enough to have yourself address me just as Lohan. Yes. And I know you're a busy individual with everything that's going on around. You're juggling so many balls up in the air. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely honored to be here.
And it's an honor. The honor is mine, in fact, to having to speak to an esteemed gentleman like yourself. We wish you nothing but the best, you personally, as well as the HOPE organization as well, for the year 2026 and beyond. And we can't wait to perhaps maybe when we do this again sometime, we'll talk about more great success stories, not only HOPE, but for all the lives that HOPE has touched along the way as well.
Looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
Wonderful.
Thank you so
All
much.
the best to you as well.
God bless you. All right.
God bless you too.
Take care.
Bye.